The best piece of advice that I've ever gotten in this industry is to not quit. Because there's been multiple times where I felt like everything in my life was just falling apart. Things were not aligning. I was in a financially hard place where I had to make sacrifices and decisions where it's like my comfort zone is, okay, let me just run away. Originally, I'm from San Diego, California. So my family is originally from the Philippines. I'm a first generation. My dad was actually in the Navy. So thankfully he gave us citizenship to come out to San Diego to live there. My childhood was very confusing. I think it's because I moved around so much constantly, and it was less of the military housing, and it was just more so just my family situation. I don't remember too much about my childhood because it was pretty traumatic with a lot of the moving around and not having the stability or foundation that I really needed at that time. But yeah, it was a lot, so I can't really say too much about it because I don't have too much of a memory of it. I feel like growing up, the need to control has been something that I've had to control, right? And I think it's because I felt like everything was so many moving parts that I couldn't catch up to. So now in my time now, I genuinely believe that it was a struggle for me in my childhood because it felt like having that unsteady foundation was really hard for me to understand what direction I really wanted to go into. Where now in my adulthood, like I realize that I just want to accept things for what it is and not how I want it to be. And I think it just gives me a lot more peace and allows me to move through life with less stress and living also with just less, but more abundant at the same time. My family never really knew what I really wanted to do, because prior to this, like I've always danced and that was my biggest passion, and I knew I wanted to dance, but my family were Filipinos, so they don't think that it's conventional for me to grow up and be like the best dancer ever. So even though they knew I was very passionate about it and I was really good at it, they just didn't see me moving towards that direction. And then when I told my family about it, especially my mom, she has still no idea what I do. No matter how many times I try to communicate with her about what it is, she still is trying to get me to move over there with her so I can live with her, and she's like trying to get me a job still. My immediate family, like my brother and my sister, they're a lot older than me, so they always knew that I had the potential of being great. I just needed the vessel that was going to get me there. So my family is very, very proud of me, but it's almost like a shock because of the way I grew up. No one would have ever expected me to be in a position where I'm an entrepreneur and I actually have ownership. I've studied every style of dance since I've grown up, especially in my studies, because I went to San Jose State to get my bachelor's in dance. My preferred, if you were to play some music right now, it's probably like a mix of urban, contemporary. I like just feeling like very ooey gooey. I just need to feel, like sometimes I just want to drop to the ground and just feel. Yeah, but I also love ballet. I love the structure of it as well. So I feel like there's so much more in my future, that this is the stepping stone to getting me where I need. And I think it's like, for myself, when it comes to my passions, I always knew I want to do nonprofits, right? I want to be able to help out the community in any type of way, but I have to wait until a time where things really align in my life. But I wouldn't say that's not in my future, right? Because I think it's something I still love and it's something I enjoy. I know once I have more time for myself, that, you know, I'll be diving a little bit more into my creative side and just knowing how to continue to express myself in a way that I'm gonna enjoy, that could possibly also be a huge vessel for not just myself, but the community also around me. The best piece of advice that I've ever gotten in this industry is to not quit. Because there's been multiple times where I felt like everything in my life was just falling apart. Things were not aligning. I was in a financially hard place where I had to make sacrifices and decisions where it's like my comfort zone is, okay, let me just run away. When things get really hard, let me like go the other direction, let me find safety. And when things got really hard in my life, I realized that I can't really do anything to change the outcome of what's happening. All I can do right now is change how I feel about it and just continue to move forward and not quit. The first one that helped me a lot with my mentality and my attitude, especially in this industry, was the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. Really good, handy book. I can always look back at it. I love something that gives me a guideline and practices. So it's a really great book, especially for my mentality. And then second would be Go Give or Sell More. I have no background in sales, marketing, or management, so that book really helped me put in perspective what I thought sales was in comparison to what I see and what the purpose of it now is. So I highly recommend those 2 books for people who want to step into this industry as well. It's definitely my uncle. He's not blood, but I call him my uncle. He's been around for such a long time. He used to coach my sister's basketball team. He takes all of our photos. He's my personal photographer now. But when I was really young, I was really lost. And Michael was the first person to really give me a home to live in and have my own room. And for somebody that wasn't my blood, he really sacrificed and really helped me out in a place where I didn't know I needed the support, but it really helped drive how much passion I care about other people. Michael's an entrepreneur, and I didn't know what an entrepreneur was. I just knew my uncle, Michael, and I was like, yeah, he's successful, but he's such a humble guy. He wears the same 5 shirts, 5 sweatpants, and he's good, very minimalist. But he's so driven, not only just to make money, but he's so driven for the people around him that the reason why he works so hard to be where he's at is so that he can help support everyone around him. So being around him, especially later in my life, until now, do I realize all the sacrifices and the commitment that he has to his people, where that has only driven me to just be just the same or even better, so then I can also get back to him and also help out everybody else that's also around my community as well.